It's 4 p.m. on a Friday. You know the vibe. The sprint is technically over. The beer fridge is calling you, and you just need to finish one last utility function. You ask the AI to write a robust function to parse the nested JSON permissions and flatten them. The AI splits out 40 lines of elegant-looking TypeScript. You glance at it. It uses reduce. It has some ternary operators. It looks sophisticated. You copy, you paste, you push. The CI passes because, let's be honest, the test route is basically just checking if the app starts without exploding. 10 minutes later, the CTO is calling your personal phone. Why? Because the elegant AI code has a recursive loop that triggered a specific edge case, an empty array inside a null object. It didn't just fail, it consumed 100% of the CPU on your production instances, scaling your AWS build to the moon in 30 minutes. When you look at the code again, you realize you don't even understand what line 14 does. You weren't a developer that afternoon, you were a babysitter who fell asleep on the job while the toddler played with a flamethrower. Welcome to the era of the AI babysitter. It's a dangerous place to be, and you want to move from the coder to architect. It's the first habit you need to kill. My name is Sergio, and I spend way too much time thinking about why we keep building systems that hate us. If you ever looked at a block of AI-generated code, fed a slight sense of vertigo, and clicked merge anyway because you had a meeting in 5 minutes, hit subscribe. We're going to fix your career one sarcastic refactor at a time. This video is the official kickoff of my new playlist From Coder to Architect. Over the next few weeks, we're going to stop looking at code as a series of tickets and start looking at it as a structural asset. Today, we're starting with the foundations, the mindset shift required to stop being a passive reviewer and start being a director of your code base. Before we look at the code, let's look at the psychological of the lazy dev. We all do it. We've developed a set of internal lies to justify why we are letting a probabilistic text generator write our core business logic. Line number 1, it's just boilerplate. Is it? Or is it the logic that determines how your data is structured? There is no such thing as just boilerplate when it lives in the hot path of your application. Line number 2, I will refactor it later. No, you won't. You will be assigned 3 more tickets on Monday, and that AI-generated mess will become the legacy foundation of the next 2 years of technical debt. Line number 3, it passes the unit test. If the AI wrote the code and the test, you haven't verified anything. You've just asked a pathological liar to provide its own character references. The problem isn't the AI, the problem is your ownership logic. If you can't explain why every single character in that file exists, you don't own the code, it owns you. Let's look at how this manifests in the real world. Imagine we need a function that calculates a dynamic pricing discount based on user share, cart value, and a list of active promo codes. This is what happens when you just accept the first thing the AI suggests. It looks functional, but it's a maintenance nightmare waiting to happen. It's correct in the most narrow academic sense. But look at it. Single-letter variables, mutable state everywhere. This code screams, I don't care about the person who has to read this in 6 months. If you ship this, you aren't an engineer, you are a typist. Now the mid-level dev wants to show off. They know patterns. They've heard of clean code, so they prompt the AI to use the strategy pattern and dependency injection. Congratulations, you've taken a 10-line problem and turned it into a 5-file architecture. This is resume-driven development. You're using the AI to build a cathedral, where a simple shed would do. An architect looks at this and sees complexity depth. You've added 5 layers of indirections that don't solve the core problem, they just hide the logic. To move from coder to architect, you need a zero-trust policy. You treat AI output like a PR from a junior developer who lied on their resume and is currently caffeinated on 3 monsters. You trust nothing. Here's how we refactor this for a real-world production. We start with the director mindset. What is my definition of done? We don't start with logic, we start with the contract. Instead of nested if statements or factories, we use clear, declarative logic. Notice how we handle the accumulated discount problem without mutating variables like a barbarian. The architect cares about the flow and the edge cases. We ensure the discount never exceeds the price, unless you like giving away money, and that the math is predictable. Why is this the architect version? Immutability. We aren't changing variables, we are transforming data. Testability. I can test, calculate bulk discount in isolation without mocking a factory. Readability. A human can read this in 5 seconds and know exactly what the business rules are. Zero AI hallucinations. Because the logic is broken into small functions, the AI can't hide a bug in a 50-line war of text. Why do we fail at this? Why do smart people with CS degrees let an LLM write bad code? It's called the cognitive offloading. Our brains are lazy. When the AI gives us an answer, our critical thinking centers literally dim down. We switch from the problem-solving mode to verification mode. But verification is much harder than creation. It requires you to simulate the code in your head, looking for what isn't there. Most devs use AI to save time, but an architect knows that time saved during coding is usually paid back with interest during debugging. If you spend 10 seconds generating a function and 0 seconds auditing it, you haven't saved time. You've just taken out a high-interest loan from the back of a technical debt. Now I can already hear the comments. Well, actually, Sergio, the AI is getting better. GPT-5 or Claude 4 will write perfect code. No, they won't, because code isn't the product. The product is a solved business problem. The AI doesn't know your business. It doesn't know that your gold tier users are actually migrating to a new system next month. It doesn't know that your database can't handle a specific type of query efficiency. If you think your job is writing code, you are replaceable. If you think your job is solving problems using code as a tool, you are an architect. Architects don't complain about the quality of the hammers. They just don't let the hammer design the house. How do you implement this tomorrow? Establish the constitution. Create an AGENT.md file at your project root to force the LLM into your specific architectural guardrails and style preferences. It's the only way to prevent the AI from treating your Java 21 codebase like a legacy JavaScript project. Define clear acceptance criteria. Never prompt without a definition of done that specifies exact inputs, outputs, and edge cases. If you haven't defined the boundaries of the problem, you're just asking the AI to hallucinate a solution. Provide high context. precise directives. Stop giving the LLM tunnel vision. Provide the full context of the impacted components and their dependencies. Precise instructions are the only thing standing between a 2-minute refactor and a 2 hours debugging session. Execute in plain mode first. Force the AI to scan all impacted components and present a step-by-step execution plan before it writes a single line of code. It's significantly easier to veto a disastrous architectural decision in a bulleted list than in a 500-line diff. The difference between a coder and an architect isn't how much they know, it's how much they own. The AI is a tool, not a teammate. Stop letting it sit in the driver's seats while you scroll on your phone in the back. You're the one who gets fired when the car hits the wall, not the algorithm. Get your AGENTS.md in order, stop accepting magic code, and for the love of everything holy, use plain mode before you commit to a refactor that will ruin your weekend. In the next video of this series, we're going to talk about the fallacy of drive, why trying to be too clever with your abstractions is the fastest way to kill a project. But for now, stop babysitting, start directing. Now go delete some code you don't need and see you in the next video. Bye!